UFC 320 is this weekend, my boys, and I'm excited as hell for it. I'm foaming at the mouth. I got Face the Pain playing on loop in my head. And today, since it is pay-per-view week, we're going to be going over the over and unders of the card. Now, if y'all are familiar with being betting men, you might know the over and unders and how it works. Basically, there's the numbers 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5 for this video specifically. And I'm going to be making predictions and my thoughts on just like what's going to happen either in the build up to the fights or on the actual fight night itself. I'm basically going to be giving my predictions with the numerical value you see on your screen. So for example, if I think someone's going to happen over 1.5 times, I'm going to mention it. If I think someone's going to happen under 2.5 times, I'm going to mention it. Y'all get the point. Please don't gamble. If you do, God bless you. But anyways, getting into the first one we got here, I'm going to say that I think there's going to be under 2.5 massive upsets. It's not just going to be big, it's going to be huge. And what I mean by massive is plus 300 and beyond, okay? We have Corey Sandhagen, we have Josh Emmett, we have Ozzy Diaz, and we have Chris Gutierrez as the 4 male, just massive underdogs of the card. And I'm saying under 2.5 because I think at least 1 or 2 of them is going to get it done. Now, I don't even think I'm picking anyone on the opposite side, like I just said, except for Josh Emmett. So it might be a bad night of picks for me if most of these guys end up winning, but it's unlikely, but there is a chance. But hey, I mean, people forget, man, anything can happen in this game. It's Adult Swim now, friend. Genuinely, in the words of Joe Rogan, people truly forget I can see these upsets happening, even if they're not supposed to, even if it's supposed to be in 2 timelines down the road, we might get it this weekend, okay? So these are huge underdogs. I could see some of them getting it done. Obviously, Ozzy Diaz and shit like that might be a reach, but genuinely, it might be possible. I think at least 1 or 2 of these underdogs are gonna get it done, but under 2.5. I don't think it's gonna be a majority of them. You know what I'm saying? But it's possible. Jesus, I'm spitting on the camera. Moving on up next to, I think we're gonna get over 1.5 of Merab saying, I'm gonna finish this guy lines at the press conference. Hey, guys, thank you so much for coming out. I have to fucking finish this guy. I will knock you out. Hey, Cody, you are a nice guy, but I have to fucking submit you. I'm sorry. Well, you're going to get so many lines. I feel like not so many lines, but I think at least over 1.5 Merab lines saying that he's going to finish Corey, okay? And whether you want to include this, maybe you see it embedded or maybe you see whatever the fuck. I don't know, but I think Merab is going to make a point in the fight to actually hunt for a finish. He's been hunting for finishes in practices and in training, and it seems to be working out for him. And in the last fight against O'Malley, obviously, he was able to submit him. So I think the finishing ability of Merab might not just be all talk. It might be a real fucking thing. Hey, that's a real thing, Daniel. I really believe that Merab Dvalishvili. I really believe this guy's going to finish everybody. I really do. I do think that Merab could finish Sandhagen, but that's a different conversation entirely. But the point is, we can count on Merab to yap, and I think that he's going to be yapping about how he is going to be able to finish Corey Sandhagen. Whether he actually gets it done is a different story, but I believe he's going to be yapping about it, okay? I think over 1.5 of Merab saying, I'm going to finish this guy or whatever the hell like it, okay? Moving on up next, I mean, speaking of the pre-fight pressers and all that, I think there's going to be under 4.5 run-ins of Big Ang just talking shit to the other light heavyweights on the card, okay? He's even putting out these tweets or whatever saying that the light heavyweights, I'm going to find all of you on the presser. Be ready. I'm going to talk my shit. Like, all right, bro. You literally gave them a warning. You're about to shit talk about a presser. And I don't even know if it's Ali typing all this shit or whatever, but Magomed Ankalaev against Pereira or just in general on Twitter, he's been talking a bit of shit, okay? It's not just all Pereira. Like, he's been kind of getting into it, but the whole allegations and the question marks around it, we don't know if it's actually Ankalaev typing this out. That's kind of the crazy thing, but I think for this fight week specifically, Ankalaev has a chip on his shoulder. He's the champion now. The number 1 contendership fight is the feature fight of this card, and he's facing Pereira in a rematch. Over just got a knockout last week. Maybe he'll be lingering around in the crowd or something. I don't fucking know. Maybe he'll be backstage. I don't know. People forget, man. But I really do think that Big Egg is going to be making a point out of talking shit to Khalil, Jiri, Pereira, whether that be on embedded or just run-ins at the hotel or just at the actual pre-fight presser, whatever it may be. I think Big Egg, I think it's going to happen under 4.5 amount of times. Maybe over 5. I can honestly see that. But I think Big Ang is just now starting to get in this role where he's just really pissed off at everybody in the fucking division. And he's got a chip on his shoulder and he's got shit to say. And I think we're going to get multiple of those run-ins. Some of them might be funnier than others, but it is what it is. Hopefully we just don't need 2 translators this time. But at the end of the day, Big Ang under 4.5 times. I think he's going to be talking shit to the other light heavyweights on this card, okay? Moving on up next to a bit of a quickie. We got over 3.5, in my opinion, for quick and efficient Sandhagen scrambles. I think there's going to be over 3.5 scrambles where Sandhagen, I don't want to say gets the better of Merab, but gets back to the feet quick as fuck, efficient as fuck. That's what I'm implying here. I think in the first round or two, I mean, Sandhagen's takedown defense and his defensive grappling, obviously, it is good. It's obviously better than a guy like Sean O'Malley, for example. But I still think that in the early goings of the fight, I think that whenever these guys do get into scrambles and whenever Merab does spam his takedowns, if he's not trying to make it a striking battle, I do think that Sandhagen's takedown defense and defensive grappling is going to carry through. I think he'll be able to pop back to his feet fast as hell. It's what he's preparing for. He did a very good job against it, especially in the early goings against Umar when they fought. I'm not saying he's not going to get submitted. Okay, I think that could happen eventually in the fight. I'm not saying that he won't get taken down a bunch, but you get what I'm saying, okay? Sandhagen over 3.5 scrambles, where I think he's going to get back to his feet very efficient and very quickly, okay? Moving on up next, I think we're going to get over 2.5. This little bald midget, dude. We're getting over 2.5 Joe Rogan lines on commentary because obviously he's back with the Anakin DC trio. And we're going to get over 2.5 lines of him saying, how the hell did Alex Pereira ever make 185? I mean, truly, people forget, man. It's going to be how many times Joe Rogan is asking, how did Pereira ever make 185? Or making some big point out of how the hell did this guy ever make it down to middleweight? We all know the Rogan mannerisms. It's the same shit every pay-per-view. I can't stand it at this point, but it is what it is. It's a staple of the game at this point, okay? Joe Rogan is the DLC pack that you get included with the pay-per-view that you don't really want, but they're like, no, take it, please. We don't want it, okay? I think that Joe Rogan, out of all the lines he's going to spam, he usually makes such a big point out of when a guy is huge for the weight class or is moving up a weight class consistently like Pereira has been doing at light heavyweight. He's just mind blown away by it, okay? He's blown away like he's sitting down on the podcast and somebody's telling him 18 reasons why the moon landing was fake, okay? So in general, I think we're getting over 2.5 Rogan lines of how the hell did Pereira ever make 185. This could be from the start of the card or on the pay-per-view all the way up to the main event, but you get my point, okay? Moving on up next to, I think we're going to get over 1.5 title fight finishes, okay? Basically, what this means is I think both of the title fights, Dvalishvili versus Sandhagen, Ankalaev versus Pereira, I think they're going to end via finish. If we're getting technical with it, I mean, really, I could see all four of these guys, all four of these fighters, no matter what. I think if they win, I really can't see a finish. Obviously, it's probably the most least likely with Merab, but you never know, okay? If Pereira wins, I mean, he's going into this fight against Ankalaev. It's heated. The stakes are high. It's obviously the tail end of his career, so he's going to try and make a big statement. He needs it, you know? And obviously, if he does win this, it's probably going to be via a devastating knockout. I could see him trying to make it more of a high-paced fight, a high-pressure fight, and he's trying to make it a bit more of a dogfight. He was on the back foot heavily against Ankalaev the first time. I think this time around, he'll be moving the fuck forward and trying to do a better job of controlling the pace towards his way, but I think that with that comes a bit of risks. I think that Ankalaev still hits really hard. Ankalaev cracked him in the first fight. If he's rushing and trying to get in the pocket, I think that Ankalaev might be more susceptible to actually taking him down, maybe getting a submission if he's able to. But really, I could see Ankalaev knocking out Pereira if these guys are scrapping in the pocket. I could see Pereira getting the better of Ankalaev on the feet, and he rocks him, and then Ankalaev all of a sudden catches him with a check left hook or some shit like that, and he knocks him down. Whatever the fuck it may be, but I'm just saying, I can see Ankalaev getting a knockout, Pereira getting a knockout, and in the co-main event, if Sandhagen wins, dude, you know damn well it is not by a decision. Merab he isn't even just the S-tier decision merchant. He's the S+, okay? And I'm not saying that in too negative of a context. Usually it is, but for Merab, he's just that good. It's his bread and butter at just dragging guys out to that 49, 46 or beyond. And I think that Sandhagen, if he wins this, it is going to be via some crazy fucking knockout, and you show up the next day and everyone's still blown away by it. And if Merab wins this one, I could see him getting a finish as well, via knockout, via submission, decision, whatever. Choose all of the above, okay? But I'm just saying, whether any four of these guys wins, the main or the co-main, whatever the hell, I see 2 finishes for the title fights, okay? I think a lot of people are going to be shook up. I think it's going to be fun fights. I'm excited for it, okay? Moving on up next to, I think, speaking of the opposite, you want fun? Too damn bad, because I think we're going to get under 4.5 actually good questions at the pre-fight presser. I mean, it's not that hard, y'all. It's not that hard to just ask questions that people care about, okay? But apparently it is. Apparently it is, because consistently every pre-fight presser, man, they get shorter and shorter. They get more dull. The fighters aren't even talking shit. It's just a game of how much can we respect each other. But at least the media, at least the people, that's your job where you come in now and you ask the good questions to really either spark shit, or you're not just trying to like start shit between the two fighters, but like get investment in the fights. Like try and actually get good questions asked, other than just, I am so happy to be here from the fighters. You know what I'm saying? So I think, as usual, even though it's a bigger pay-per-view and all that, the social media team or whatever the fuck these guys, they do not care. They're still going to ask the same old questions about how does it feel to be here? What would this moment do to you? A win over Sandhagen. What does that do for your legacy? Who gives a shit? You know what I'm saying? I think we're literally just going to get under 5 actually good pre-fight presser questions. You get what I'm saying, okay? These guys literally make me lose faith in humanity, all right? But it is what it is. Hopefully we still get an entertaining build-up regardless. But in terms of these media members asking the pre-fight presser questions, I think we're going to get under 4.5 actually good ones, okay? Moving on up next to, I think we're going to get under 3.5 completely busted up fighters. Now, what does this mean, right? I'm not just saying they have their titties out. I'm saying that genuinely these guys are busted the hell up. What made me really think of this one is Josh Emmett because he wears damage very visibly. Like, after a lot of Josh Emmett fights, he's either knock you out in the first round or he's getting beaten the hell up or submitted or something like that. You know what I mean? So, Josh Emmett's on this card. Jiri and Pereira on this card. I mean, they obviously can get beat the hell up after their fight of the year candidate. I could see Pereira or Andre Muniz or something like that. I don't know, but or even T Vines, whoever the hell is facing Adebogateers to step up. Whoever it is, man, I feel like that we could see under 3.5 of these fighters just being completely busted up on the face. It could be over 3.5. I can maybe see that, but I think on this card, we're going to get a lot of brutal finishes or back and forth wars. And I think with that is going to come a lot of fighters where at the end of the day, when that third bell rings, okay, and the fight is all done, their faces are completely different. Some of them are going to go through wars or get knocked the hell out. And I think that they're going to be busted the hell up. I'm not confident enough to say it's going to be over 3.5. I'm sticking with under 3.5, but I think that this is going to happen, okay? Moving on up next to, I think we're going to be seeing under 2.5 knockdowns. Knockdowns specifically in Jiri versus Khalil alone, okay? I think this fight's going to be an absolute scrap, man. I really am excited for it. We all are, and obviously a big part of that is because we know that these guys, A, they hit really hard, and B, they're about to bring a dogfight, okay? Fire meets fire here. I think that Jiri's going to get a knockdown in. I think Khalil's going to get a knockdown in. And then beyond that, whoever wins is probably just going to get the knockout. But I think we're going to see under 2.5. One of those knockdowns even might be the finishing blow. Hence why I think we're going to see under 2.5. But I do think one of these guys is going to get a knockdown in on each other. Like some anime shit when they're punching each other at the same exact time and they both go flying at the same time. I could see that happening here, okay? Like Thanos says, with all things in life come balance. What the fuck did he say? That definitely is not what he said. That definitely is not what he said. I'm paraphrasing Thanos before GTA 6 dropped. But anyways, I think that we're going to see under 2.5 knockdowns in Jiri versus Khalil. They both have the power to do it. They both are going to get scrappy in the pocket. I think they're both going to have one up on each other. And ultimately, I think that Jiri's going to take away with the fight, okay? Moving on up next, I mean, speaking of this one, really, I think we're going to see over 1.5 fight of the year or fight of the month candidates on this card. I had to kind of include fight of the year or fight of the month because, you know, you can take it as is. You can take it as either or, you know. I mean, you have Prochazka versus Rountree, which is pretty much a lock for this, okay? And then after that, all it takes is one other really good fight, really good scrap to be that fight of the year, fight of the month candidate. I think the main or the co-main, dude, is going to be one of those. I think that the potential between, you got Magomed Ankalaev versus Pereira, you got Shabazian versus Muniz, you got Santos versus you. There are fights on here that, especially on the prelims, that might exactly not stand out as like fight of the year candidate, but I think we're going to get some scraps, man. I think these guys are going to get the hell after it, and that's why I'm saying I think we're going to get over 1.5 fight of the year or fight of the month candidates. We got Prochazka versus Rountree as a damn near lock unless one of them knocks each other out within the first minute of the fight or first round of the fight. And other than that, it takes one more. Like, imagine Dvalishvili puts on another fun scrap this year. Fight against O'Malley in the rematch was one of the best fights of this year. The fight against Umar Nurmagomedov to kick it off was one of the best fights of this year. That was really one of the best fights of this year. You know what I'm saying? The rematch against O'Malley was fun, but you get what I mean. Dvalishvili's putting on consistently fun fights, so I could see that against Sandhagen, man, who himself, against Jan and guys like that, has been putting on bangers here and there. So, in general, whatever fight it is, besides Prochazka versus Rountree or whatever, I think we're getting over 1.5 fight of the year, fight of the month candidates on this whole card, okay? Moving on up next, I mean, speaking of the whole card, the big picture, I think we're going to see over 4.5 knockouts in the entire card. I mean, we got some hard hitters on this card, man. We have Pereira, obviously. Sandhagen gets some crazy-ass knockout. We have the feature fight. We have Josh Emmett. We have Joe Pyfer. We have Edmund Shabazian. We have Ju Sang Yu and Daniel Santos. Adebogateer. Like, there are a lot of people on here, even on the early prelims. You know, you got Soriano who can get some early knockout. But I'm just saying, man, I see a lot of potential I got the Looney Tunes hard eyes right now on this card because I see so many knockouts happening, man. I really do. We have a lot of strikers, a lot of power punchers, and like I've been saying this entire video, a lot of scraps in store, I believe, okay? So I think on the entire card, I could see some submissions here and there, like maybe Patchy Mix's fight against Whiplash or whatever the hell the Polish guy's name is. Maybe that ends in a submission, but other than that, I don't really see too many submissions happening on this card, besides like maybe the co-main, someone like that. Maybe Yusuf Zalal with a crafty sub, maybe not. I don't know. I can't see that one really, but you get what I'm saying. Overall, I'm going to think we're going to see a lot of knockouts. I'm going to count on over 4.5 for this whole card, okay? And moving on up next, I think we're going to see under 3.5 final UFC appearances. Now, I'm not trying to say retirement fight, but it could mean retirement fight. I mean, we have big old Josh Emmett. We have Alex Pereira. We have a couple of fighters who, yes, they could retire. When I say final UFC appearances, obviously retirement is part of that, but it also is like being cut. You have fighters, especially in the early prelims, who if they lose one more, I could see them kind of getting cut here, okay? Whether it's via their choice or via Uncle Dana. Yeah, what was the question? Varon Tennikov? Yeah, we're cutting this kid. He's lost 4 of his last 5, okay? So there could be whatever the hell it is, but I just think whether it's their choice or whether the UFC or whatever, I think that we're going to see a couple, at least 1 or 2 maybe, final UFC appearances on this card, but I'm going to trust in the fact that it's under 3.5. There's not a lot of unks or a lot of jobbers on this card, so I don't think it's going to be too many, but I think that there will be a couple based on the vibes and based on the few unks or jobbers that we do have, you know what I'm saying? So moving on up next, I think that we're going to see over 1.5 big Ank takedowns landed. I think that the first fight is going to play out a bit differently than the second one for multiple reasons. I think that there could be an argument we get a very similar fight as the first time, and it's a lot more Pereira on the back foot, defending all the takedowns. Close decision, though. People forget, man. Whatever the hell, okay? But I think this fight is going to be different. I think Pereira is going to bring a higher pace and pressure, like I was saying earlier. And I think with that, he might be a little bit more susceptible to getting taken down by Ankalaev, man. So I think that he's going to land at least over 1.5, okay? Maybe when Pereira's rushing in, he pieces up Ankalaev with a nice 1-2, and then all of a sudden he's on the ground because Ankalaev was able to find the nice takedown entry he needed. You know what I'm saying? So I think we're going to see over 1.5 Ankalaev takedowns landed, okay? And Pereira can still win the fight even if Ankalaev takes him down multiple times. I mean, shit, he defended every single one the first time and he still lost. So who the hell knows? But I think that this time around, man, I think we're going to see over 1.5 Ankalaev takedowns landed. Whether that happens in the first 2 rounds or the last 2 rounds, I don't know, but that's what I'm going to be thinking for that one. Moving on up next to, I think that we're going to see under 2.5 Merab submission attempts, okay? I think Merab's going to get the hell after it, like I've been making clear about trying to finish Sandhagen, whether it be just yapping or actually doing it in the fight. But genuinely, man, I think he could finish Corey on the ground. I see that more maybe than like a decision or a knockout at this specific moment in Merab's career. But I think we're still going to get under 2.5 sub attempts, okay? It's not going to be all those moments where you have DC and Joe like, oh, it's in, oh, it's not in, oh, it's not in, I'm sorry, Daniel. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're freaking out. They think it's just closed in and that they have the choke, and then all of a sudden they pop the hell out and they're beating the other guy up. So in general, I think that Merab isn't going to have too many of these moments. I think that when he's actually going to be hunting for the finish, I think that he is going to probably get it. So I think we're going to get under 2.5 sub attempts from Merab, okay? When he feels comfortable enough or powerful enough on the ground to actually lock it in, I feel like he's going to fucking full send it. Instead of just trying to, I mean, Merab's really good at spamming takedowns and trying that over and over again, but we don't really see him exactly spam sub attempts, you know? So I think that he will try it a couple times, maybe even get it and deliver, but I think he still will try. I think we're going to see under 2.5 Merab sub attempts. If it's over that, then holy shit, rest in peace Sandhagen, because there's only so many times you're on the ground with Merab and he's trying to choke you out where you don't get choked out. Now that he has finishing ability, he's a marauder down there. He already was a marauder down there, but you know what I'm saying, all right? So I think we're going to see under 2.5 sub attempts from Merab. Moving on up next, I mean, speaking of the Botched English, I think that we're going to see under 4.5 Botched English octagon interviews, okay? We got a lot. I mean, it's the UFC. We got a lot of foreign-ass fighters, okay? Whether it be on the main card or the prelims or the early prelims, I think we're going to see under 4.5 Botched English octagon interviews. It's going to be a lot, okay? I think it's going to be under 4.5, though, regardless. I don't think it's going to be cracking 5+. I think that some of these guys might not exactly get interviews, but there's so many fighters on this card where it's just, brother, kind of vibe. You know what I'm saying? So, in general, I think we're going to get under 4.5 Botched English octagon interviews. I think we're going to get a solid amount of these guys that are winning. I think we're going to get a solid amount of interviews from them, but I'm going to keep it under 4.5, okay? And moving on to the last one we got, boys. I saved this for last because it's basic as hell, but I think we're going to see under 3.5 close decisions or robberies. I've been making it very clear that how I feel about this card is highly. I think we're going to get a lot of finishes, a lot of excitement, a lot of knockouts. I don't think that there's going to be a lot of room for this discussion of robbery and close decision and yada yada, okay? I genuinely could see under 3.5 close decisions or robberies. Maybe even lower than that, man. You could argue under 1.5. I hope. That'd be a dream if we're not really walking away from a card with any close decisions or robberies, okay? But in general, you kind of qualify a robbery as what you want it to be. Not all close decisions are robberies, so I kind of mix these two together here, you know? Like, you could have a 29-28, and it's still a nice back-and-forth fight. So, I don't know, man. I think we're going to get under 3.5 close decisions or robberies here, okay? I feel like most of the winners on this card are either going to be finishes, or if they are going to the distance, it's going to be a bit more of that 49-46, 30-27 kind of scorecards. That kind of energy, you know what I'm saying? So, overall, I think we're going to see under 3.5 close decisions or robberies on this card. And that's going to be it, boys. That's going to be it for the over and under for UFC 320. Thank you so very much for giving me your time and attention. I truly appreciate it, okay? It means the world to me. So thank you guys so very much. Be sure to like this video. Be sure to subscribe. I'd really appreciate it. But regardless, thank you so very much for tuning in. I hope you have a good time watching the fights this weekend. Jesus, it's exciting. Let me know your opinions in the comments below. Let me know the picks that you agree with or disagree with, and which little ones would you add in yourself, okay? Let me know in the comments below. I would absolutely love to hear it, my boys. All the smoke here, Uncle Smoke here. I appreciate y'all a lot. Have a good time watching the card this weekend, my boys, and I will see you all next time.